Back at it again, and we've got a story here that I kind of touched on unknowingly not long ago, maybe a few days ago. I don't know at this point. It was more recently. And I was talking about how we're spending all of this money, and the left is spending all of this money, right? And I have yet to see any money spent to protect our children. I've yet to see it. Yet to see it, right? We're sending billions of dollars overseas. We're spending billions on the inflation reduction and all of this other stuff. Woo, whoop-de-woo. Where's the money for the kids? Because last time I checked, they were all up in arms. Oh, we must do something to protect the children. We got it, after the last situation that happened that I'm not going to mention. We must do something. We gotta stop. Oh, we got to take away the Second Amendment. That's what we must do. We're going to do that. We're not going to consider any other things, right? You guys remember the, I forgot his name. The black gentleman who basically said, forget all of your laws and your checks and balances systems. We're going to circumvent them. If the Supreme Court stops us, we'll pack it. Blah, 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 we'll abolish this, we'll abolish that, and we're going to do what exactly it is that we want to do. Remember that? We checked that video out. Well, Senator Ted Cruz brought a bill up that we're going to be discussing today that I found very, very interesting that one of y'all sent my way. So, yeah, before we jump into that, make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed to the channel already, hit that subscribe button down below and join the family. All right, join the family. Make sure you guys are following me on social media. All of those links are down below in the description box. But with that being said, let's dive in. So let's read about this a little bit. So it says Senate Democrats block bills to protect children and safeguard schools. Today, Senate Democrats blocked the Securing Our Schools Act, a bill by U.S. Senators Ted Cruz and John, is it Barrasso? Is that how you pronounce his name? Hopefully I'm not butchering that, but I probably am. To improve school security and access to student mental health resources. Now, remember, the left is always talking about mental health. That's part of the bill, all right? Very, very important. So they say, he also blocked the Protect the Children, I think that's a typo. I think they meant to say they. They also blocked the Protect Our Children's Schools Act, which would have allowed schools to use unspent previously appropriated federal educational related funding to improve school security. On the Senate floor, Senator Cruz said, there have been too many of these types of situations with kids going back into schools all across the country. We need to again revisit what we can do to keep them safe from mass. Yes. Their parents are scared, and they've expressed concerns that the security measures at schools and, the school in question haven't improved enough to make them feel safe. Today, I want to put forth two bills that would address the problem inevitably when a situation occurs. And yes, I am avoiding certain words because YouTube sometimes flags videos when you're saying certain things. So to avoid any restrictions on the video, I'm just avoiding certain words, obviously. And you can read along with me here. This bill would be the most serious, the most significant, the most major investment in school security Congress has ever enacted. This bill would double the number of police officers on campus, right? In response to Senator Chris Murphy, right, objecting Senator Cruz. What we just saw reveals that Democrats have one objective when a mass situation happens, and that is to take away the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. That is always, always, always their solution. Never mind that it doesn't work. If another lunatic attacks a school and there's not a police officer at the front door to stop it, remember right now, remember this moment when the Democrats said, no, we will not protect our kids. And that is one of the things that I was touching on before. And obviously I touched on it earlier, but I touched on it in a previous video. All this money spent, all of this hoopla, Oh, we're going to protect the kids. These guys are crazy. Their only objective, and this proves it, is to take away our Second Amendment right. Because when they had the opportunity, when presented the opportunity to do something, they gave not only us, not only you and I, but our children, the middle finger. We don't really care about y'all. Y'all thought we cared? We don't. The funding's already there. Because if you guys remember when the beer bug was going around, there was funding that was sent out. I saw some news on most of that funding was never even spent. So the funding is there. That funding could be used to protect the schools, but no. And there's only one logical explanation. They truly do not care. And I think Republicans and everyone on the right needs to be screaming this at the top of their lungs, because this is the game that the left plays. This is the game that they play, right? We've seen it time and time again. I've said that because you guys remember when the Inflation Reduction Act bill passed, right? All they kept mentioning is not a single Republican voted for this bill. But what they failed to tell you, and maybe that's the case with this one, I don't know. I highly doubt it. What they failed to tell you is that the reason why some Republicans or all Republicans didn't vote for it, it wasn't simply because they didn't want to reduce inflation. First off, it's been studied, and that bill does not reduce inflation. But forget about it. We'll just, for the sake of this argument, we'll say that that bill was going to reduce inflation. See, what they do is they sneak in other things that have nothing to do with what the actual bill says. That's one thing that I've learned along this journey. Like, they're sneaky little snakes, right? You got to keep your grass cut low, so you can see the snake slithering through it. They'll sneak in, okay, so it'll be like Inflation Reduction Act, and they'll sneak in $50 billion being sent to Europe for energy crisis. And some of the people see that, Republicans see that, what? Now, I'm not saying this is exactly what was in, the Inflation Reduction Act, but it's stuff like that where people look at them, wait, what? No, we are not sending any more money over here. But then Democrats will spin that and say, oh, see, they didn't vote for it. But they won't tell you the actual full truth. So I think it's important that, Republicans sort of play the game to an extent too. Not get as dirty as some of these leftists do, but call them out. Call them out and continuously call them out. Every chance you get, you point it out to them. Oh, remember you guys were, yelling and screaming about this situation? Well, you had the opportunity to do something about it. Well, why didn't you? But let's continue on reading, though. The Securing Our Schools Act would invest $15 billion in school safety personnel, doubling the number of school resource officers. Invest $10 billion to hire 15,000 school-based mental health professionals. Increase the physical security of schools through grants. Triple FEMA's nonprofit security grant program to help secure schools. Yeah. And I hear some people saying, oh, well, we don't want to turn it into a police state. Man, I remember always seeing a police officer at school when I was in school. So adding one or two other police officers, a police state? What? There was police officers all the time in the school. I wasn't in school like, oh my God, there's a police officer. Oh my goodness. This is making me feel unsafe, uncomfortable. Like, that's some made up BS that they try to push. Made up BS. Let me know in the comment section, when you guys were in high school, do you remember seeing police officers at your school? I do. We always had one. Some schools had more than one, right? So doubling the police officers, why is that a bad thing? Possibly hiring veterans, why is that a bad thing? Or even hiring parents who are willing to patrol the school, why is that a bad thing? Hardening the schools physically, why is that a bad thing? Oh, well, we don't want to make it seem like a prison. Well, it basically already is. I'm supposed to be there at a specific time for a specific period of time. I cannot leave or I get in trouble. And what the doors are supposed to do, once you go in, they lock behind you. And you mean to tell me, oh, well, you're going to harden these schools. It's going to seem like a prison. Well, that doesn't seem like a prison already. I'm just saying. Now, I don't know if y'all schools did that, but at the school that I went to, once you walk through that door, it locked behind you. Once it latched, you couldn't open it from the outside unless someone in the front office buzzed you in, unless they let you in. You couldn't pull that door open. Like, it was locked. If you walked outside of those doors, you got in trouble. I don't get it. I really don't. But I got a video here for you guys to take a look at. Here is, check this out. Let's dive into it.
We have new information about a CBS 11 News exclusive story we told you about yesterday.
As expected, Texas Senator Ted Cruz did introduce a bill, happened about 4 hours ago, in fact, to spend billions of dollars with the goal of making schools safer for your children.
Political reporter Jack Fink broke the story, and he is telling you what happened on the Senate floor today.
Senator Ted Cruz told us that his Securing Our Schools Act includes $15 billion to double the number of school resource officers, $10 billion to hire 15,000 mental health professionals for middle and high schools, and another $2.5 billion for physical security improvements on campuses. The senator admitted to me that the measure may be blocked. After giving his speech this afternoon, one senator, Democrat Chris Murphy of Connecticut, stood up to object and said he refused to debate the merits of the bill.
This isn't real.
Refused to debate. I wonder why. Let's hear him out.
It's a TV show. This is click.
The bill.
This isn't real. This is a TV show. This is clickbait. This is theater.
Oh, well, I'll be damned. What do you know? This is clickbait. This is a TV show. This is theater. Doesn't that sound familiar? What a coinky dink, huh? What a coinky dink. Interesting. He says such a thing, if I do say so myself. J6 committee, national television. We've got the juicy stuff. Clickbait, theater. But who am I? Who am I? I'm just a small YouTuber. I don't know what I'm talking about.
This isn't an actual attempt to pass legislation.
That objection is wrong. It's irresponsible. And it shows a willingness to play political games.
So once again, there you have it. I mean, I've pretty much said everything that needs to be said. I mean, these guys are hypocrites. They don't care. They don't truly care about our kids. They don't care at all. As a matter of fact, I would even go as far as they're hoping that another tragedy happens. As sad as that sounds. As sad as that sounds, they are hoping that something else tragic happens. Right? Because when presented the opportunity, even before this, you had plenty of opportunities to make sure that something never happens again. And their only response, we're taking away your weapons. That is it. No compromise. Okay, okay, we understand. Second Amendment, we're not going to do that, but we still need to protect our kids. So let's figure out something else we can do. Nah. They can't do that. Of course not. Why? Because they don't give a damn. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.